Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, silver shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, silver shamrock.
Sounds to haunt your house. In the hollow hush of midnight's keep, when the living fade to sleep, the floorboards sigh, the curtains breathe, and shadows stitch what night will weave. A whisper crawls along the wall, a ghostly drip from down the hall. The attic moans, the windows groan. You are not tonight alone. A distant clock ticks slow and deep, each second stirring things that creep. A laugh too soft, too near, too thin, slides through the dark, then settles in. These are the sounds that haunt your house, dark and silent, quiet as a mouse. So please beware those things that tread in places dark and under the bed.
You are a bold and courageous person, afraid of nothing. High on a hilltop near your home, there stands a dilapidated old mansion. One dark and stormy night, a light appears in the topmost window in the tower of the old house. You decide to investigate, and you never return.
What are you doing?
Trying to get the front door open. No one lives here. We can wait inside until the storm's over.
Not me. I'm not going in that old house. I'd rather stay out here and get wet.
There. Come on, don't be afraid. I'll light a match. Wild bee. This house is still full of furniture. It's as though someone still lived here.
There's a candelabra. Light some candles.
Good evening.
Who said that?
I think it came from that marble statue.
Mike, let's get out of here.
The door closed. I can't get it open.
When hinges creak in doorless chambers, and strange and frightening sounds echo through the halls. Whenever candlelights flicker, where the air is deathly still, that is the time when ghosts are present, practicing their terror with ghoulish delight. Welcome, foolish mortals, to the haunted mansion. Kindly step this way. There's no turning back now. We have so few visitors. Live ones, that is. Our tour begins here, in this ghostly gallery.
Mike and Karen, too frightened to find another way out, obeyed their host's voice and entered the candlelit gallery. The gallery was a large room. Its walls were covered with paintings. As Mike and Karen stepped into the room, the wall behind them slid closed.
Mike, we shouldn't have come in here. I'm scared.
I don't see a way out. There are no doors, not even a window.
Here, in the gallery, you see rare paintings of some of our residents as they appeared in their corruptible, mortal state. Even in this flickering gloom, your cadaverous pallor betrays an aura of foreboding. Your trusting mortal eyes tell you that these walls are stretching. But logic says, no, 'tis mere hallucination. Then look about you, examine everything carefully. Your logic cannot deny that this chamber has no windows and no doors, which offers a rather logical challenge to find a way out. There's always my way.
Just moved in my new house today. Moving was hard, but I got squared away. Bells started ringing and chains ran loud. Knew I'd moved in a haunted house. Still I made up my mind to stay. Nothing was gonna drive me away. When I seen something that give me the creep, had a one big eye and a two big feet. Stood right still and I did the freeze. He did a stroll right up to me. Made a noise with the feet that sound like a drum. Say you be here when the morning comes. Say yes, I'll be here when the morning comes. Be right here and I ain't gonna run. I bought this house and you know I'm boss. Ain't no Hank gonna run me off. In my kitchen my stove was a blazing hot. Coffee was a boiling in the pot. The grease had melted in my hand. Had a hunk of meat in my hand. From outer space there sat a man on the hot stove with the pots and pans. Say that's hot, I began to shout. Drank a hot coffee right from the spout. He ate the raw meat right from my hand. I drank a hot grease from the frying pan. Looked at me, said you better run. Don't be here when the morning comes. Say yes, I'll be here when the morning comes. I'll be right here and I ain't gonna run. Bought this house and you know I know.
Lightning flashed from above the room, illuminating the attic area. There seemed to be no roof. From the rafters, a corpse swayed, dangling from a taut rope. A black raven flew into the room and perched on the bookcase.
The college way out! He chose the college way out!
The candles Mike held went out mysteriously. Karen clutched his hand during what seemed to be an endless darkness. In a few seconds, the candles relit. A panel opened, exposing a dimly lit hall. On On the left side were windows revealing a grotesque landscape frequently illuminated by the lightning flashes. On the opposite side of the corridor were large portraits. And when the lightning flashed, these paintings turned into decaying corpses.
We should never have come in here. What's that?
It's okay. It's just that raven.
Did someone scream? We didn't mean to frighten you prematurely. Apparently, the restless spirit of an old nag has taken possession of that poor, wretched raven's mortal being. Beyond God, it may want to better itself.
Mike and Karen walked down the long, tapering corridor. There seemed to be a light at the far end, pitch blackness behind them. The hallway made a sharp turn into an eerie lit limbo of boundless mist and decay. The furnishings and walls were covered with cobwebs. A staircase seemed to be the only passageway out. As they climbed to the second floor, they were greeted by an appalling cold. And this, as you know, is the traditional manifestation of the supernatural.
I hope you don't have an aversion to darkness and cold. But you see, we spirits are sensitive to light, and every consideration has been given to our comfort here in this delightfully dreary place.
Where do we go from here? How do we get out of this horrible place?
This seems to be the main corridor. Let's hope it leads to a back staircase and a way out. Come on, let's keep going. Watch your step. The rain's made everything slippery.
The candles went out again.
Just leave them. We're outside now. Everything's going to be okay. There's some steps down at the far end.
But they lead to the graveyard.
Come on, it's the only way.
Our adventurous pair descended the steps to the ground level and began their walk through the private burial grounds, trying to find their way out of this living nightmare.
I woke up this morning and had a bad dream. What I saw made me want to scream. I pinched myself to see if I could feel, because my dream felt so real. I was walking through the graveyard, walking through the graveyard, walking through the graveyard to get to you last night. There was a cold icy mist in the air, an old car sign that said beware. The trees were swaying in the full moonlight. Then I discovered it was Halloween night. I was walking through the graveyard, walking through the graveyard, walking through the graveyard to get to you last night. Vampires and werewolves too. Nothing could stop me me from trying to get to you. I tried to run, but my feet wouldn't go. I didn't want to end up 6 feet below. I was walking through the graveyard, walking through the graveyard, walking through the graveyard to get to you last night. Walking through the graveyard, walking through the graveyard, walking through the graveyard to get to you last night. I was walking through the graveyard, walking through the graveyard, walking through the graveyard to get to you last night. Walking through the graveyard to get to you last night. Walking through the graveyard to get to you last night.
So come with me. There's nothing here but crumbling headstones overrun by grass and weeds, large tombs, foreboding and long forgotten, decaying trees with claw-like branches that dip into the surrounding mist. Hold that lamp high. The night is stars, and the moon rides on dark. What was that? Oh, don't look back. Don't even dare. Better not to know what might be there. Just keep walking. Toward the hill, up ahead. On the other side is a town of the living, of warm hearth and cheer. They say this cemetery is a shortcut, though the locals never walk it. At least, not after dark. They talk of ghosts and spirits and screaming banshees, of disembodied souls lost in a netherworld between life and the hereafter, of premature burials where victims cry out with their final breath, of the uninvited who stalk these grounds, though if truth be told, it is we who are truly the uninvited. Dead Man's Hill. Somehow we've become lost in the swirling mist and lashing rain, surrounded in every direction by pillars and headstones and tombs. Can you hear the beating of your heart? Feel the hair on your neck stand. What horrible fate befell those who tread this path before us. The storm grows worse. Better take shelter in that old mausoleum. Don't let that door close behind you. Don't panic. There must be another way out of this dark, dank, musty house of the dead.
seems to waste. The hours fade, they come awake, the dead parade. Press on to the cornfield. Anthony put them there. And it's good. It's real good.
He did.
I love to kiss the cemetery girls. Their lips are hard, like ice like pearls. I call them up, they come to me. A zombie pop, pure ecstasy. Fresh souls in the cornfield. Anthony put them there. And it's good, real good.
You be dead. You're a bad man. You're a very bad man.
I love to sleep with cemetery girls. Their legs are called sweet dusty curls. Pale, pale breasts pressed to my cheek. When we make love, stiff muscles creak. Fresh souls in the cornfield. Anthony put them there. And it's good. It's real good.
I had a real good time.
Oh, sure you did. You had a real good time. Good that you have a good time. It's real good.
I love to love the cemetery girl. I love to love the cemetery girl. I love to love the cemetery girl. I wish they all could be cemetery girls.
Sometimes, if somebody dares you to do something, don't. You never know where a dare can take you, or what can happen. Especially if you take a dare on a dark night, around midnight. Well, maybe you can because it starts this way. Just a bunch of boys sitting around and talking and telling ghost stories, trying to scare each other. And they just happened to talk about an old man who had just died and been buried just that day. The old man never liked the boys, and the boys never liked him. And so they talked. One of the boys said the old man was so mean that if any of them sat on his grave, the old man would probably reach up and grab him. And one of the boys, his name was Jim, said that was just a lot of nothing. Even if someone sat on the grave at midnight, nothing. One of the boys dared him to do just that. And Jim said it was silly. And then they all dared him. And what else could he do? He said he didn't believe in ghosts or anything like that, so he took the dare. And to prove that he would do what they wanted him to do, he said he'd leave his jackknife sticking in the grave for proof. And that was that, until that night. At 11:30, a half hour away from midnight, Jim got out of bed, dressed, remembered to take his penknife, and carefully left his house. He didn't want to wake his parents because they wouldn't understand about going to a graveyard at midnight. And then, when he was outside, he remembered he had forgotten his flashlight. But it didn't matter. It was a bright, moonlit night. Just the sort of night to visit a grave, if you didn't want to be frightened. Even so, even if it was pretty light outside, Jim was afraid. After all, he didn't really know too much about ghosts. He just didn't believe in them. But maybe that wasn't enough. Maybe there were ghosts. And he began to wish he hadn't taken the dare. But a dare was a dare. And he came to the graveyard. He opened the iron gate of the graveyard. The moon shone on the gravestones all around him. And they stood white, looking like ghosts. And he looked for the old man's grave. And just at midnight, he found it. He opened his jackknife, knelt down, and plunged it into the old man's grave. Nothing happened. It was after midnight. He had gone through with the dare, and he started to get up. But he couldn't. He couldn't move. Something was keeping him there on the grave. The old man? He didn't know. All he knew was that he couldn't move. The next day, Jim didn't show up at school. His friends wondered where he was. Probably out too late. They laughed about that. But after school, they walked over to the graveyard to see if Jim had left his knife where he said it would be. They found the knife. And they found Jim lying on top of the old man's grave. He had plunged the knife through his own coat and had pinned himself to the ground. He couldn't move. He had died of fright.
Oh, dear. I went grave robbing just the other night in the cemetery by the pale moonlight. I bought my lamp and my digging tools and a can of disinfectant should the smell get rude. While the groundskeeper is out of sight, I'm gone grave robbing tonight. Well, I snuck in the cemetery from the rear, behind the crematory, till the coast was clear. I can't help these things I crave. The smell of earth and fresh dug graves always makes me feel all right. And the dawn grave robin tonight. Now the gate slams shut, I'm all alone. If the ground is soft, I'm halfway home. I'll eat up some dead man's sleep, and whatever I find I can keep. Ha-ha! I dragged that coffin up from the pit. It smelled real bad, 'cause it leaked a bit. When the thing inside that should be dead just smiled at me and grabbed my head. Now it wants to take a bite, 'cause I went grave robbing tonight. I drew my dagger out of its sheath and thrust it deep between its teeth. It gurgled out a ghastly sound and oozed brown liquid on the ground. I turned and fled with all my might, 'cause I'm done grave robbing tonight. I can see my house just down the lane. My legs are weak and racked with pain. If Igor's there, he'll let me in. If not, I'm afraid it's the end. Igor swung the deadbolt free. That dead man kept on chasing me. I lured the beast inside my lab and pushed it in the acid bath. It cooked up fast and tasted just right, and I went grave robbing tonight. Hey, 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 hey! I just made a batch of stew, and there's plenty left for you. Hey, 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 hey! Before it tries to run away. Hey, 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 now! If you should catch a whiff of bowels, don't forget it's nice to share. It ruins my breath, but I don't care. I have a motto I repeat. You really are just what you eat.
The first attacks came without warning, when I was alone, late at night. Without realizing what was happening, I would sink little by little into a trance state, unable to move and unable to really think, and yet somehow aware of my immediate surroundings. I could lay this way for days, until I eventually came about to normal sensation. Other times, I would get sick and cold and dizzy and just collapse where I stood. Then for days, everything around me would be black and silent, and the world became dark and empty. And then, after an eternity, I would gradually come back to consciousness, stumble around my apartment, and attempt to clean myself up. Other than this strange trance once in a while, my general health seemed to be good, except for my memory, that is. Usually, when I would wake up in the morning, I would have trouble remembering where I was, and my general mental ability felt confused. It could take hours sometimes for my senses to return. My physical health remained good, but I had extreme psychological stress. I became obsessed thinking about corpses, worms, cemeteries. I became lost in thoughts of death, and the idea of being buried alive. I realized that because of my condition, I was in unbelievable danger. What if I was away from home and had a seizure? If no one knew me or about my condition, I could be taken for a dead man. The danger I was in haunted me day and night. It was hard to sleep because I feared I would wake up in a grave. And then finally, when I did fall asleep, it was to a world of nightmares.
Horrible images of death continued to torture him in his sleep, and his waking hours were filled with agonizing thoughts of burial, tombs, and of the crawling worms. He became paranoid and afraid even to exercise, walk, or wander from his home. from his friends. He gained sacred promises that they would never allow him to be buried until his stiff body showed signs of advanced decay. He also made many other special arrangements.
I decided to take some special precautions. Among other things, I had the family burial vault remodeled, allowing it to be opened from within. The slightest pressure on a special hydraulic lever would force the huge iron doors to fly open. I had ventilation ducts made for the circulation of air and light, and emergency containers of food and water installed within immediate reach of the coffin. The coffin itself was designed to be oversized and padded, and was outfitted with a lid that could be opened from the inside with almost no effort. A baby could escape from this box. And finally, I had a fail-proof alarm installed, a large bell with a rope hanging in the vault. The other end of the rope was to be tied to the hand of whoever was buried in the coffin. That way, even if the power in the building went out, I could still sound an alarm.
All of the work, all of the precautions, and still he suffered from the torture of his thoughts, the nightmares, and the future doom which awaited him.
One afternoon, I found myself waking from the blackness of a trance. I began to slowly realize a faint gray light in front of me. It was daylight. I couldn't feel anything in my arms or legs. Then, after a long time, I heard a ringing in my ears, and then a tingling sensation in my arms and legs. Finally, I felt like I could move an eyelid. My blood started to pump through my body, and I began to think. Slowly, I was able to remember who and where I was. I knew that I had had a seizure, and suddenly I wondered if I had been buried alive. I was so terrified, I couldn't force myself to move. I didn't want to wake up and confront reality. After a long while, I forced myself to slowly open my eyes. It was dark. Completely dark. I knew that the trance was over. I knew that I was now fully recovered and could see again, but everything around me was still completely black. I tried to scream, but my lips and my tongue felt as dry as leather, and I couldn't make a sound. My chest felt like there was a huge weight on it, and every gasp of air was an intense effort. I could hear my heartbeat, like an immense drum pounding from inside a vast cave. My attempt to move my mouth showed me that it was sewn shut, the way morticians sometimes treat corpses. I also felt like I was laying on something hard, and that the sides of my body were also closely against something solid. So far, I hadn't attempted to move my arms or legs, but now I panicked. My arms were crossed and laying on my chest. I reached up and felt a solid wooden board about 6 inches from my face. It was then I realized my worst fear. I had been buried alive. But suddenly, I had a reassuring thought. My precautions, my alarms. I tried to force the lid open. It wouldn't move. I was trapped, like an animal, even worse. I felt my wrists for the rope tied to the bell. It was gone. And then my greatest terror, the paddings which I had carefully installed in the coffin were missing. This wasn't my coffin. And I began to smell the odor of damp, rotting earth and things that had been dead for a long time. The conclusion was obvious. I wasn't in the family vault. I must have fallen into a trance while I was away from home. And strangers must have found me. But I couldn't recall a thing. Whoever found me, they must have buried me like a dog. nailed up in some common, ordinary coffin and stuck deep in the ground forever in some deserted and nameless grave. As I began to realize what had happened, I started to scream again, and this time I succeeded. I let out a long, wild shriek of agony that reverberated up through the dark ground and somehow, miraculously, caught someone's attention. I felt movement and shaking, and I knew that they had uncovered me. My memory suddenly began coming back to me, and images started flooding my mind. Now I remembered. I had gone on a hunting expedition with a friend in the deep woods surrounding the James River. Night came, and an unbelievably fierce storm came out of nowhere. We took shelter in the cabin of a deserted ship anchored at the mouth of the river. We made the best of it and knew we were on board for the night. I slept in a bunk in the small cabin. This bunk had no sheets or blankets, with about 18 inches clearance to the boards above my head. It was a tight squeeze, but I slept well. And then the trance began, and my screams. The men who shook me were the crew of the ship and some workers hired to unload the cargo after the storm. The dark, earthy smell was the cargo, fertilizers and chemicals. I had been wearing a silk handkerchief, and during the night it had slipped around my mouth, interfering with my breathing. And my friend had slept through everything, totally oblivious to my situation.
From the tortures he endured came a good. His soul grew sober, and he began to travel, exercise, and to live free once again.
I found myself breathing free air again. I began thinking about things other than death, and I threw out my medical books. In short, I became a new person and found a new life because of that unbelievable night. I had been cured of my problems, and my cataleptic condition was gone forever.
I checked this place out for the Halloween party. Come on.
Are you crazy? I'm not going in there. This is the Simpson house.
Oh, what are you scared of?
Everyone knows about old Magnolia Simpson. Ever since she lost her head, anyone who goes in there gets theirs chopped off, too.
Now, where'd you hear that?
Phyllis Boyer. She told me about the 4 people who were in there last Halloween, and they never, ever came out.
They just disappeared, right?
Just their heads.
That's just a story. Now, come on. I can't leave you out here alone, so come on in with me, all right?
I'm all dressed up with nowhere to go. Walking with the dead man over my shoulder. I'm all dressed up with nowhere to go. Walking with the dead man over my shoulder.
beneath the moon's pale shimmering light. Fading shadows flicker before your sight. Skeletons dressed in their shrouds so white glide through their velvet ghostly night. So raise your voice and let darkness call at this ghostly Halloween ball. For in this night of ghosts and gloom, the spirits walk in every room.
11:55. Almost midnight. Enough time for one more story.
The year was 1933, and a heavy, gray mist clung to the streets of Elmwood. The Depression had thinned the usual porch lights, but it couldn't dim the spirit in young Anne Gale's heart. Her family, like many, had little to spare, but Halloween was a night for magic, and magic cost nothing. At the community hall, a bonfire crackled, casting dancing shadows. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of cider, donuts, and damp wool. A magnificent Halloween celebration was in full swing. The children, dressed in makeshift costumes of sheet ghosts and flour sack witches, gathered for the evening's games. Among the festive party games and bobbing for apples, some of the children decided to play a game of hide and seek. Laughing in their costumes and full of mischievous fun, Anne Gale, dressed gleefully in her homemade witch costume, declared she would find the cleverest hiding place of all. As her friends began their count, she slipped away to the lesser-used parts of the hall. Up a hidden staircase and into the dusty, quiet attic she went. There, nestled among old furniture and forgotten relics, was an immense, ancient oak chest. Thinking it the perfect hiding spot, Anne lifted the heavy lid and climbed inside, pulling the lid down after her. It was meant to be a moment of playful silence, but as the chest's lid slammed shut, a terrible metallic click echoed in the darkness. The spring lock had engaged. Trapped in the dark, she began to panic, pounding on the lid and screaming for help, but her cries were muffled by the thick wood. No one heard her. The party guests searched for hours, then for days. The festive spirit turned to worry and finally to despair. They eventually gave up their fruitless search. Life continued, but it was now a somber, silent place, and the disappearance of the young girl was spoken of only in whispers. Decades passed, and the hall, after years of use, was slated to be demolished to make way for a new community center. The sad story of the lost girl became little more than an urban legend. One day, while clearing out the old, long-forgotten attic, the old oak chest was uncovered. As the dust was brushed away, a strange smell emanated from its old wood. They decided to pry it open, and when they finally managed to lift the rusted lid, they recoiled in horror. Inside lay a human skeleton, draped in the disintegrating remnants of a witch's costume. In its bony hand, it still clutched a withered caramel apple. She had been there all along, her playful hiding place becoming her final sealed tomb. Some say that her spirit still haunts the site of her death, forever searching for a way out. Some say you can still hear the faint sound of frantic scratching coming from the old oak chest on a cold fall night.
This is your friendly storyteller, the Man in Black, the voice of darkness, reminding you to be in bed before midnight, because the witching hour brings with it gremlins and goblins, spooks and specters. So when you climb the stairs to bed, be careful. Look behind you. There's probably nothing there. Is there? Good night. Sleep well.
Through the nauseous night I soar, through the pools of rancid gore, through the sewer pipes I'll crawl, to the horror hall, to the hall where vampires scream. Happy Halloween! From the cold and ancient graves, from the coffins and the caves, from the rocks and werewolf nests, come the ghastly guests. Gonna have a nightmare dream. Happy Halloween. So little witch, we've got a date. You better put your head on straight. Jump on your broom and don't be late. This is our night to celebrate. Through the oozing quicksand swamp, do the muddy, bloody stomp. Do the brand new twist and itch with the wicked witch. Everybody make the scene. Happy Halloween. Isn't this a gruesome party? All the weirdies are here. You can't tell which witch is which without a program. Oh, there's the Wawa Doozy Witch. And there's Dracula dancing with Rigor. Till Rigor Mortis sets in. For this sweet night we wait all year. Now don't you try to disappear. I'll open up your coffin, dear. My nose will tell that you're still here. Gonna eat some lizard lunch. Gonna drink some living punch. Gonna dance until we're dead. Hit me on the head. Hang my heart and split my spleen. Happy Halloween. Everybody make the scene. Happy Halloween.
In search of the Brighton monster.
We have not altered these recordings in any way. No sound effects were added and no actors were employed to carry out what is about to unfold before you tonight.
Stories and legends of the creature date back hundreds, if not thousands of years among American Indians.
Sounds crazy, don't it? But it's true. Yeah, it sounds like he weighed 500-600 pounds, even more, just really putting his feet down heavy. Yeah, I was scared. You bet.
The creature is large, very large. He's muscular.
His head was sort of receded. Big teeth, long hair, terrible glowing eyes. I don't know, I didn't stay around to look at it.
The tracks he leaves behind tell the story. Some over 18 inches long and 8 inches wide.
It wasn't a prank. That wasn't a prank. For a man who had to have been over 8 foot tall, made tracks in that snow like it's down here.
Other questions remain. Is he dangerous?
Sir, if you don't take that thing as a fake.
I think not. Seemed to be very authentic to us.
Something is out there.
We think so.